All right, good morning, everyone. Good morning. I'll be right back. All right, go. Well, that was quite the spike. Gamma levels are about to print. Let's see what they got for today. What do we have for today? They want bearish, bullish? What do we? Just broke below the overnight low, right? Yeah. Got a few votes already. Wow. Okay. Best it urges G7 to help US attack Iran finances. Wow. Sounds like an escalation to me. Little Mario. That Mario is whenever there's a failed breakdown candle of the overnight low, which is kind of what's set up here. This is a failed breakdown of the overnight low, but personally not a fan of the setup. Oh, they squeezed right back into it. Wow. Maybe it was a setup. Maybe little Mario had something. It was right. Oh, the put walls kind of went in the same area as yesterday, just 10 points lower. Call wall around the same. Let's see the weekly. Let's do a long delta flip below. Okay. All the internals are red. All the sectors are red. See if that flips any point midday. Back test of the 393, yesterday's support. And we are rejecting lower. Another failed breakdown of the overnight low. I just don't think this one holds, obviously. There's more momentum downside. There's bids right there at the 80s. 1,000 lots passively bid. I might bid it if it gets above 385. I'll try it small against the prior day low. And it needs 385. Right near the prior day low here. Pretty close. Did we break the prior day low? No, we did not. Wow. Our few ticks above it. The speed of the tape picked up here as we hit the prior day low. See if they trap. There we go. They finally broke the party low. Alright, if they reclaim the 385.0, I'll take it long. Still about 10 points away, but that's the only setup I see right now for myself. Momentum shifting there. You can see the tape's picking up after taking out the priority low. Tape's accelerating back up. It's 385. Mario saying failed breakdown of the overnight low again. Alright, we'll try it. It'd be too early, but give it a shot. Get small sized. Got another something hit the tape there. We'll add a couple more lots on that strength. Go. 3. Oops. Okay, am I gonna change it fast enough? There you go. Cool. Let's see if that strength is real or not. Could have just been a short squeeze, but we will see. Yeah. Not looking too hot. They're absorbing all of them. Not the best. can see they're still selling there passively. Bunch of delta, positive delta doesn't get a bid up on the column there. So past 390, there's passive sellers. If they get past them, then go straight to VWAP. But who knows if they can get past them. I'm right above it at 393. Still absorbing. Very clear in the tape here. You can see the absorption passively. Just taking in all the orders. They move the value up a little bit, so they might be able to take on the VWAP. Boop. It makes sense where they're absorbing. I mean, they should be absorbing here if you're a seller. It's at the low end of value here, right? Technically imbalanced. This is where they want to keep it below. You know, that way they can test down here. There it is, 398. We'll scale there. Okay, down to our runner, and then we'll see how this plays out. Might be able to add to it later if this structure ends up getting acceptance above the neckline right here. So if this can hold above this area, then I might consider adding later in the session. Because if they do hold above 408, 410, we probably go straight to 450. We'll see. We're still not there yet. We're below VWAP, so one step at a time. You can see here that value started getting a bid. Tech and chips are still down. Right here, I think it's out here. Getting some strength in one sector of the market compared to yesterday where everything was red. I think I just put the fills on this chart so it looks clearer. Let's see, fills. Oh, it's the other account. So the trigger again was the failed breakdown of the prior day low / overnight low. Right here, you have the prior day low, that orange level, and then the overnight low, this yellow one. And then Mario came in and hit his thing. I need that 400. If we don't get above 400, we're technically imbalanced down still. Like 408, give or take. So as long as they're not above this area, I'll probably get stopped out. We need to get above this. Oop. If it does, it'll come back to this area. Point of control. 450 from Friday. Oh, broke it down. Huh? See, they fail to hold here, we break down. They're coming with momentum. Oh shoot, no. I don't want to move this. Ugh. They're bidding again. See if it holds. I'm not willing to add to it just because I don't really like the location or holding value, but it can definitely go higher. A good area to hold. If it goes above VWAP, I'll consider adding later in the session. There's definitely momentum here. The tape is very active. We'll buy right there with them. They're very active here on this tape. Okay. Yeah, I think we stopped out, take a small loss. If not, we'll be good. We'll see if this ends up being like a higher low. Or it stops me out near the priority low, and then we'll just let it flush out. The put wall's at 7341, so that might be the area to wait for. Took a small loss, $16 loss. It's holding below prior day low, so this could continue lower. Right there, we had the reactional pop, kind of similar to yesterday. We had a pop, boom, bounce, start to fade below prior day low. We have a pop, and then below prior day low, it might continue lower. We'll see. I don't believe in the fade because the sector's green. The value sector. There's some green rotation going on. Let's see. Okay. We'll put a bid there at 7.3, and then the stop will be just below current low. We'll try it one more time. See if they feel me. Could be a failed breakdown setup, so we'll look for it. We'll see. Either I get filled right away or stopped out right away. Be a pretty quick trade. I like the area. And stopped out right away it is. Oh well. Yeah, the tape just slowed down right there. 65. It's interesting. let it trend down, see if it comes down to the what is that called? The put wall. Weekly one. Keep an eye out for the reclaim of the priority low. We can reclaim this area. I'm interested in longs 3773, somewhere around there. NQ is just selling off this morning. It's pretty weak because of the chips. The chip sector is pretty weak. All right. Let it sell off. I missed the sell, so just as a recap, I mean, we held value right at the pivot area. Right below yesterday's value. So it's just a continuation back into that bear target. You know, I bear the target. Actually, let me put that on Substack. Was here. So the outlook was bulls must hold 380, 390. We did in the morning, which is why I was long. And acceptance above 24. We unfortunately did not do that. And then holding below 370, which is what we did right now, the current prior day low, would target the 370, sorry, the 303, 3710, or 7310. So, with that in mind, I'm just going to continue until they put in a failed breakdown. Which, chill, wait, relax. What happens? There we go. Baby is about to be set in like 7 minutes. Do they reclaim here? They'll parity low. They're making a somewhat of a stride, but I don't know if it's enough momentum. We tested the exact they tested exactly the bear target zone, that 3-day balance, low end of value, and then reverse so far. Through all this, the value names are holding up pretty well. The only things that are fading are chips and the Mag 7. Here they come, right into parity low. Will it be enough? Find out. Yesterday they came right into it and chopped around it and then failed. We'll see if they chop around it and hold this time around. Yesterday we broke the parity low, came back into it, chopped and then failed. You guys see a hold like this. Yeah, we'll see. Otherwise it's just continuation down. And we'll come into that put wall. We haven't tested it yet, so, or yesterday either. There's momentum and squeeze coming into the tape there. See if it's enough to get us to hold. They got a hold. Got the Dow fading a little bit as well, so that might add some weakness here to go lower. What am I doing today? I am waiting for the prior day low to reclaim so I can get long and then target the VWAP on that reclaim. And then see if they want to sustain above 400s to test the 410. Or we wait for the put wall to trade, which is below at 740s, or 7340, sorry. 7340, so about 20 points lower. They could also form, now that the IB is set up, a failed breakdown of the IB. But we will see. We'll see if that maybe sets up too. How about yourself, man? What are you looking for? That little box you're talking about is, I'm not sure if you read the Substack, but I had the same area outlined here. Little area. Boom. The little box you're talking about. All right, IB low and MIB coming here. See if they can put in a failed breakdown of this area. I'll try it along if so. If not, wait for the reclaim. Yeah, I think the 300s is definitely a target for bears. That's exact. I don't know. Are you reading the newsletter? That's exactly the target that I gave on the newsletter too. Where is it at? Right there. Drop the ball. Begin pullback to 7303, 310. Right there. It's kind of funny. Yeah, so that's the same target I said. If bears hold below 370s, which is what we're holding right now, it'll begin the back test of into 300s or 303, 310. We may have different ways. Yeah, I'm sure different ways of getting the same target, 100%. All right, let's see if they can reclaim here. Ideally, bears should be rejecting the priority low here for a test of the IBL or the IB low. Yeah, I think the oil headlines, like the war headlines, kind of sizzled oil out for a little while. Who knows? I don't really keep an eye on it, just saw that it dropped. I think it was like near end of day, there was an update on the war stuff, so that's why it dropped in momentum. Kind of escalation before for that to happen. Yeah. I have like this like tinfoil idea that I think that they're muting the price of oil. I don't know if someone's shorting it, maybe the Treasury. I think Scott Bassett said he was going to short oil. I don't know if they actually did it. You can find the headlines. He had mentioned he was going to be short. They were interested in shorting oil. I just don't know how we'd be able to track if they're actually doing it or not. Because it would be the Treasury Department doing it. I don't know if they have like a disclosure or anything. Yeah, it would be like a mother of all squeezes for sure. Yeah. So they rejected the priority low there. Okay, so continuation of the bear trade, like I said earlier, and then testing the IBL. This is where I want to see more or less like a failed breakdown of the IBL. Okay, if that doesn't happen, then just kind of hands off and let the bears do their thing. Minor probe of the IBL. Let's see if this doesn't accelerate. I'll call it quick if it doesn't. No interest, no bids. Or no sell below the IB so far. No. Huh? It's an alert. That's the IBL. Right. This tape's kind of slow. I would like to see a reverse, given there's no interest to short below this. It seems like that because the tape's just dying, tapering off. No, there's no volume here on the sell below the IB so far. We'll see if it picks up or not, but I'm gonna add a little bit more here. And then we'll put our risk 5-2s. Okay. So there's no tape below there's no volume below the IB so far. We'll see if that ends up being a reversal to test the prior day low again. NATO weighs mission to reopen Strait of Hormuz. Okay. So we'll see. The tape is kind of still not getting a bid, but there also is not much activity here at all. Might just go for continuation. Because that reversal should have kicked in by now. He's fading. He's fading fast. So just interesting tape here. You can see this just tapering off. Not much getting the tape. The Dow's fading too. Not much momentum, not much volume, not much anything. So the lack of interest is the reason I like the IBL failed breakdowns most times. Same thing if we were breaking the IB high and we were breaking a new high, the initial balance high, and there was no volume into it, then odds of a pullback are likely. That's the reason I'm long here. And that's why there's a blue little candle. Just a little reminder that there's a potential failed breakdown of the IBL. Getting some type of activity there at the tape. Pretty weird. But anywho, again, failed breakdown of the IB low. Not much volume as we probed underneath the IB low. That generates interest for me. It means that we get a counter auction to test where all the liquidity is, which is probably the prior day low at 72s, which is where I'll scale. If we test 72, then the question is, do they hold above the 72 priority low? And if so, they probably can test the value area low for the week, which is where that red profile is, which is 380, which is my next scale spot. They test the value area low of 380s, I'll scale there, and then if they accept into 380, maybe they'll test 390s again, 400s. So that's kind of the idea there. Exhaustion at the low below the IB. Mean reversion, bulls take control. They take some momentum back. They squeeze into overnight low or value area low in this case for the week. And then any further momentum will push us into 390s. There's a 370 tag. We'll move this one down. It's a different account. All right, cool. All right. Go. Scaled some there. I don't know why this didn't update. It should have removed the 7 lots. The 7 lots should be gone. Oh, it is moving. Okay, cool. So I'll just to stop right now to the current low. I don't want to see this break the current low anymore, right? I just want to see it continue to momentum. There it is at 355. So it's a green trade at this point, regardless of what happens. Because at this point, I want to see it. What I want to see is price acceptance above the parity low for a continuation into these areas. So again, failed breakdown of the IB low right there. Dom lined up in volume, no interest to short below. So then we got long and targeting this area, the priority low, where there's probably supply from sellers. We'll see if it breaks through. Good evening, Mr. Knife Art. So there, just walked through the whole trade. Pretty clear trade. The IB low failed breakdown is something I take often, especially when the tape kind of confirms that. So the tape is always of interest whenever we are overextended and we break an IB level. That could be the overnight high, or the IB high, or the IBL. Doesn't really matter to me, as long as the tape tells me that it's possible. Here it is. Moment of truth, I guess, so to speak, right? We got to reclaim this parity low where we're kind of testing right now. Mr. Nightfar, what time is it in Thailand? Isn't it like 11 p.m.? There we go. That one's scaled too. Philippines. I'm sorry, I keep forgetting. Philippines, yeah. How was your day so far, man? Great. How's the weather? What you been up to, man? I stay inside most of the time. It's pretty decent at night taking a walk. Nice, man. Very good. How long have you been there now? I'm assuming it's been a year, right? Or a little over. Or where did you move from? I know you moved, I know you lived in the US. I just don't remember where. Was it Texas? Looks like Chips got a bid here. And Q is trying to reclaim the overnight low. The Chips recovered quite a bit off the lows. And then you have the value names still green on the day, and Mag 7's kind of flat. It's pretty much stayed the same. I've lived in Florida, Texas, some other places that made me from Florida and California. Cool. Well, yeah. So the IBL fill breakdown, that's the trade of the day. We'll title the video that today. I try to title the videos so that way if anyone watches them, they know exactly the playbook or the setup. So there's no like guessing as to what's going on or what happened in this live stream. And if I took an L, I took an L. What was that alert? Oh, it was a new headline. Oh, okay. So it's two different software. So Mr. Jade or Jad, the DOM on the left, the one that's here, is Jigsaw, and then this charting software is Sierra Chart. That's two different ones. What software do you use, Mr. Jad or Jade? What do you use? Well, let's actually ask that. Let's see. What's a common usage? What platform do you use? Trading View, Tradewrick. There's so many, so it's kind of crazy. Sierra chart. Jigsaw. And I'm sure there's many more, but those are the ones that I can put right here. Someone said Jigsaw right off the bat. Okay, my man using Jigsaw. Jigsaw is probably for me the best DOM. I like the DOM on Jigsaw. It's really great. I have one on Sierra, but I'm just not a fan of it. See. I just probably haven't configured it right. It's expensive Jigsaw. As a beginner, is Quant Tower like Jigsaw? Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's actually a little better if you want to all-in-one. If it's free with a prop firm, just use it. It's honestly great. Quant Tower is really good if it's free, especially because it allows a lot of the features that would be in an all-in-one package. And I think the DOM on that one's pretty good too. So nothing wrong with that, man. Quant Tower is pretty good. I've used it a few hours. Don't have a lot of experience with it, but it's pretty good. Yeah, especially if you're a beginner. Yeah, I mean, Quant Tower is going to be probably your best bet as it's provided by most firms. Okay. Yeah, I know, I can see that. But are you even taking the post-workout, girl? I have. Yeah. ¿Por qué no? Yeah. Oh, I don't have it open, but here. It's here. Yeah. I think it's still up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is, yeah. Yeah, 10, 30. Kind of weird, huh? Well, he's off early though. You're off tomorrow? Okay. They haven't said? So you're getting a recovery on the internals here. You can see that the chips have gone down from down 2% to down 1.3 and counting back up. And then the Mag 7 have gone up from down 1.5 to 1%. There's a little bit of an intraday bounce here. Yeah, mine too, look. And I have the mat. Oh no, never mind. Oh, just kidding. I think it's this one. No, they both don't, look. Yeah, work it is bad. You probably need a mat. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Again, it's this little internal box here that is of interest as we move up. Like, are the chips getting bid? Is the Max 7 getting bid? Or is it just only one sector? And so far, it's all sectors getting bid. Earlier on this bounce, it was just one sector. It was the value names. And then this time around, it's pretty much all sectors getting a bid, which is why we're getting a little bit longer of a continuation. All right, I scaled more there. 70, 74. Could go higher, but I'm just gonna get down to a runner. Mm-hmm. U-World? The class? Pharmacology, yeah. That's your... When do you take that one? Checking the schedule? Oh. Hmm. Might be under a different name. Oh. March. Okay.
Yeah.
Hmm. Well, I'm assuming chemistry and anatomy. Mm-hmm. Hmm. next year. Yeah, because you already have 2 years. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the rotations. What does that mean? Mm. Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. 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 I don't know what to say. Why don't you secure profit at every tick or tick you gain? You move the stop loss behind it. I see many traders wait for huge profits and hold their position. I did scale out, brother. I'm only holding 1 micro. You're a beginner. I don't know what kind of advice you think you're giving me on that, but I appreciate it. I scaled out on the position. I just hold a small one. Yeah, I think it is how it sounds. So you see the DOM there column, it says it's green even if it hits my current price fill, which is at 358, and it's still green. It's not going red on me because I scaled on the way up. And it looks like they put another failed breakdown of the IBL. Let's see if it holds. Thanks for your answer. What platform do you recommend? Just depends on how you trade. I don't know what kind of way do you. What's your style of trading? Do you scalp? You hold positions? You swing them? It all depends. Swinging means like holding for the next day, or just opening and closing in a short span of time. It varies. If you give me that info, I can probably help you. I can give you a more definitive answer. It's just going to depend on the strategy. I don't think all prop firms are like a one size fits all. There's some that are better for certain types of trading. So I'm still holding the same trade again, the failed breakdown of the IBL. That's the second time they test the IB low and fail to break down. There's a divergence this time around on this dip. The chips are actually higher than where we were before when we last dipped. Hey, I'll see you, Matt. Take care, man. It's good to see you. So the internal strength is even better this time around than the last dip. So if we do pop here, we probably squeeze harder if chips continue. Okay, seeing the tape, you're getting the tape getting real excited here. Just to clarify one thing, when I take a trade, I'm not looking for a home run. I will scale at structural areas of interest, right? And I think I explain that every time I take a trade, where I'm looking to scale before I enter. So even before we did the trade on this one, I said I would scale at the IB at the priority low and then near the value area low on the second set, which is exactly what I did, right? And I would hold a runner to see if they want to test the VWAP and accept into value. So it's not that I'm hoping for a home run. I scale as structural areas, and if price trends, I just hold a small position in case it wants to continue to trend. And if it does not, then you know, I move to break even or just about, and then the final leg of the position gets stopped out for either a minor loss or break even, and my P&L ends up green on the day. So even if I get stopped out today, right now, I still end up with a green trade, and I walk away green. Even during this trade here this morning on the long, I got stopped out and I was still green. I was green 98 bucks. Even after I had taken a trade, scaled, and got stopped out on the last set, I was still a green trade. So it's part of my risk management to scale structurally and then hold and see if it goes further. Because there's days where this thing will run 50, 60, 80 points. And there's times where it won't, and that's okay. Overall, structurally, on a chart basis, this looks like a breakdown, like it's not going to hold. And then on the profile as well. The profile. So right here like this. We're structurally holding at this the low end of this balance. We need to reclaim and hold above the point of control, which is here. So we can get a retest of this area. That area is where, like, around 370. So yeah, there we got to hold above the prior day low if we want to continue higher to retest the top end of value at 398 area. I'm a scalper and only trade S&P. If you scalp, probably take profit trader. That'll probably be your best bet. Oh, great. I forgot to tell you. But it depends. Like, do you have a profitable strategy? Are you still working the kinks out? You know, like, are you going to be burning through cash while you figure out your scalping strategy? Because if that's the case, then maybe going for a cheaper alternative prop firm while you figure that out will lower your burn rate while you figure out how you get your footing. So it just depends, like how much experience do you have, how confident you are. Based on your questions, I'm going to assume you don't have much experience. You maybe don't have a profitable strategy. So I would probably say Apex, just because they're the cheapest option. You know, you scalp, so the trailing drawdown doesn't really matter. And the accounts are relatively cheap. I think like 20 or 40 bucks. So I would say that based on our conversation. I don't know. Yeah, I haven't traded it for and I trade with more 2 years and just back test. Yeah, I would still go with the cheapest alternative, honestly. But not financial advice, you know. You're asking me. That's my opinion personally. I don't have a promo code or anything with them, but Just as a personal advice, I don't really care if I get commission or not, or affiliates or whatever. But as far as scalping, I personally, my stream will probably not have a lot of value for you. I do not scalp. So I know that if you scalp, you're probably better off finding another stream that's going to be a little closer to your style of trading, since you'll be able to sharpen your knife much more efficiently watching someone else who scalps. Oh, here, I'll just put it in the chat, man. It's going to be the cheapest alternative. If you're looking for the take profit one, it's in the description of the video. You got trade Sierra chart, nobody, trading view, trade of 8, and Jigsaw. Interesting. Seems like majority use trading view or Jigsaw. Cool. Is that 6K? No, it's 600. 600 and no, not 6K. I wish. No, 600 and whatever. Floating. It's not floating. It's only 68 bucks of that is floating. So 600 net pretty much, give or take. And it's not an IBL degen. I don't do that. No worries. So this is how much of it is floating. You can see the one lot right there I have left, 73 and change floating. I closed the rest of the position. I scaled out of it when I entered. So the long was here. It was failed breakdown of the IBL, and then I scaled at 70 and then at 77. can see the scales here. So it's we're holding priority low. We should be able to now retest the 80s and then the 90s right around this area. The value low of the current week. The chips are almost green. They were down 2% at some point. Now they're only down 0.87. The chips. You can see it right here. So the middle one says chips, and it says RS 0.85, and it was down 1.9 at the low. They flipped about 1% top to bottom, or bottom to top. And it looks like NQ put in a failed breakdown of the overnight low if it squeezes. NQ currently reclaimed overnight low, about to get above. We're trying to get above VWAP, it looks like. If it does, probably can squeeze. Hey, you didn't do your stretches yet. Oh, that's right, with Desert, huh? If this wants to squeeze near mid second half a day, there's an opportunity to add, but it would be at higher prices. It needs to show that it can accept above here. If we can somehow reclaim midpoint of the day above 80s, good long there for targeting the 400s. And the 80s are the current week value area low, so acceptance within the value area low after breaching below it. Right, this is broke below, took out the last week low, and then it held. We can accept back above the 80s. We probably can work our way through the entire auction back to 410. So just waiting, see if they reclaim the 80s. Let me move this down. Right there. Because essentially what would have happened is they broke the prior week low, failed to look below and fail, held, and are currently going to work on a reversal. So these are weekly profiles. This is last week's profile, this week's profile. We broke below this week just by a few points and then held and then went long. That's part of the reason we like the long here. The Dow is also above the overnight low. Everything's above the overnight lows. Now the question is, are they above the prior day low? I don't know. I'll have to check. But so far it looks like intraday we're getting a reversal. Hello and thanks for sharing. Hey, Arto Deason, no problem. Were you here throughout the stream? Did you just get here? Did you catch the idea that I gave? Did the idea make sense? The IB low failed breakdown. FX officially lists Morocco among the restricted. Oh, listen, you can. I would recommend you try out for the Euro accounts. I think you would try Fidias. I think they're definitely gonna do their best. I think they have. They're mainly based out of Europe. More votes, more people using Jigsaw. Wow, cool. Why they offer DOM? Or which one? I think they do, yeah. There. They do. Let's see here. It's going to be with yeah, they do it with deep charts. Yeah. They will offer the DOM through deep charts, I think. Alright, I'm gonna call it a day here. Yeah, either we hold above the VWAP, which is where I'm looking to see if they can hold, and I will add more to this trade to target the 405. Hey Rick, I've been trying to automate an IB strat. Any tips on how to make IB strats better? Well, what are the parameters you're working with currently for an IB stat? Like, so like, are you looking for a failed breakdown of the IB, targeting the IB? What's the exact setup you're looking at for the strat? And then what is the IB you're using? Is it the first hour, 30 minutes? Like, how are you defining the IB? Using first hour, and my experience, breakouts don't work So you're looking more towards a fade of the IB break. Is that what you're saying? A fade of it? For it to mean revert back into the range? Yeah, everything turned bearish again. Yeah, pretty much, yes. So the first thing I would do is you have to consider the overnight inventory. I kind of don't want to give the data to the info, to be honest, because it's my info that I've back tested, but I'll share a little bit of it. So you start with the overnight inventory. Overnight inventory, where did volume transact relative to the prior day settlement or close? When you get that inventory, whether price was net long, balanced, or net short, that is where you start, because that gives you a baseline of how likely the IB high or IB low is going to, the likelihood of it going to fail. So for example, if the inventory is net short overnight going into the open, there's a higher chance that the IB high will fail. Meaning it'll probe the overnight high, but then fail below it. Because the inventory was net short, meaning we had a gap down anyway. So there's going to be very few instances where that happens, because it's very rare to have an IB high be taken out on a gap down. But when it does happen, it's a high hit rate trade. So that's one scenario. You can do the inverse. So if we gap up, what inventory are we talking? I mean something net short. So the overnight inventory is categorized by how much during the overnight session, where did the majority of volume transact? Did it transact above the close or below the close of the prior day of the New York session? That gives you the baseline. So today's inventory was net short, right? We gapped down, majority of volume traded below yesterday's close. No, it does not mean market on close. It's simpler than that. It's much simpler than that. So let me just draw it. This is the prior day close, right? Right here. Right there. During the overnight session, where did the majority of volume transact during the overnight? Did it trade above the prior day close? Did it trade below the prior day close? Can anyone answer that? That's pretty simple, right? But I just want to make sure you understand before I go next. Nothing to do with closing orders, just price. Below, exactly. So that means the inventory was net short. Yeah. Coming into this morning. Yeah, so it's pretty simple. It's just, but there's times where volume will trade above and below the close, pretty much like a flat or a balanced session. That's why you have to have the data so you know exactly. So I have a scanner that scans the overnight volume and inventory. So I have, it says leaning short, right? it tells me how much of the inventory was transacted below. And so this gets scanned for me pre-market. So I have 4 different ways price can be split in terms of volume. So you have net long above settlement. That's 100% of the trade, meaning a large gap up. Or leaning long, 60% of the volume traded over the close. And then balanced, somewhere between 40 to 60%, meaning we traded above and below the prior day close all night. These are probably the lowest quality sessions. And then leaning short, and then 100% short. And today we're leaning short. Because we did trade a little higher than the close yesterday. I think we traded to 7335 or 7435. And then we broke down about midnight. So the inventory was leaning short. So from there, and I have a carry basis that shows me the last 17 sessions, or how many ever sessions where the inventory's been. So right here it says 3 sessions short carry. The last 3 sessions we've had leaning short inventory. This info here, once you have that, you're looking at GEX level. That's a different story. I'm not going to discuss that right now, but yes, I do have GEX levels. So this inventory, I'm only answering the question as it relates to the IB. The question is relating to the IB. When the inventory is net short or leaning short, that's step 1. The second step is, and we break the IB high on any given session, there's a high probability it will fail above it and trade back into VWAP. Where is it at? Here it is. So this is a reference setup, right? So if we were to break the IBH and fail, the first target would be VWAP, 100% hit rate. And that's one setup, right? I'm not going to give all of them because that's my playbook. I'll discuss them as they kind of go around, but I have like 4 or 5 playbooks or different setups that I do depending on the overnight session. But today, the setup was the failed breakdown of the IB low, which is another one that has to do with the fact that we're leaning short, right? The inventory is too net short, meaning participants are net short too much. There's excess short inventory. They're shorting the whole. Why? Because we're shorting the whole at a prior week low. For 3 carry sessions, we've had short inventory. So there's a higher probability of the IBL putting in a failed breakdown for the session. So those are the 3 reasons there. You have, we broke the prior week low. We had 3 sessions of net short inventory. And then you had the IBL low trigger as the setup for that. Right? There's too much short inventory in the market and it has to rebalance, is the thesis. It doesn't have to, but that's the thesis. So I hope that helps with the IB stat idea. I gave a little too much info, but you know, it's fair enough. But yeah, I do have GEX levels. I post them for free. I mean, I have the GEX levels. Right now, the put wall's at 341. We haven't touched it today. Or yesterday. Where's the weekly? The weekly put wall is at 73.21. So a little lower. So yeah, I have a scanner. I mean, you can make one your own. You just need to have the data and have the right mindset or frame of mind. You're way ahead of me with this AI stuff. Thanks. Yeah, no worries. I mean, if you have other questions, feel free, man. It's just a matter of like, I've been trading for a while, so I kind of have an understanding of what I look for a playbook. And then I just back test that playbook. So again, look, I'm still riding this runner. Odds are I probably get stopped out. I mean, we continue to just fade every single time we try to trade above priority low. So sellers still have control. We're definitely not able to reclaim the prior day low. The bull side conviction begins once we accept back above the current week value area low right here. Right? Because right now price is imbalanced. Right? It's imbalanced away, meaning we're breaking down because we're away from value. Right? Value, we're extended away from the value for the week and last week. But the rules of auction market theory is if price accepts back within value after breaking below value, then there's a failed breakdown and we're going to transverse and test the other side of the auction. So yeah, anyway, I'm going to head out, guys. Have a good day. Thank you. It was nice chatting with you guys. I'll be back tomorrow. Oh, Mohammed, what's up, man? It says today we were discussing that last time with the peak. Yeah, I remember the leg up, the second sweep. Well, cool, man. I'll see you, Mohammed.